Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Piper Peach this afternoon for the 2026 runoff election results. I'm your host, Ellison, this evening. We are here live in the Piper Peach studio this afternoon. We want to thank you for joining us this evening, making Piper Peach your choice for election night returns. A dreary day across the state of Alabama today for runoff elections. What has already been projected to be an extremely low voter turnout today. Some estimates are saying 10% or possibly less voter turnout today. And if anybody has been outside or even looked outside today, knows that it has been a rainy day across much of the state today. So how will that affect that voter turnout today? What candidates will be able to get their people to the polls today to push them across the finish line? We'll know all of that soon. It is officially 7:02 this evening, and polls across the state of Alabama are now closed. As I remind our viewers and listeners each election night, keep in mind it could take a few moments for results to start coming in because anybody that was in line at 7 o'clock will be permitted to vote. I do know in passing a couple of polling places on the way into the studio this afternoon, it was obvious there were very few cars there. So that's very indicative of what is projected to be that low voter turnout today. And then we will have to see how the weather is going to impact that overall voter turnout today. As we look at the ballot today, most of the races were on the Republican runoff ballot. Before we start, though, the only office locally for here at Chilton County that was on the Democrat runoff ballot was the runoff for United States Senator on the Democratic side between Dakaria Lorette and Everett Weiss. That was the only race on the Democratic runoff ballot today for Chilton County. On the Republican ballot, though, and this is where our local races will be, so that will be where we will be spending most of our time this afternoon, is looking at these local races, and we'll be checking the statewide races from time to time and trying to give you some statewide results as those results come in this evening. So as we dive in this afternoon, as we begin waiting on results to come in this evening, we look at the ballot, just kind of going down the ballot today. The first race on the Republican runoff was for Lieutenant Governor, a race that does contain a President Trump endorsement. We will see how strong that endorsement will play over to voters in today's election. Wes Allen, Secretary of State, facing former Republican Party Chair John Wall there. John Wall does have the Trump endorsement. Wes Allen, no stranger to the state of Alabama here. I know Wes has spent a bit of time here in Chilton County campaigning. So those two face each other in today's runoff and will advance. The winner will advance to the general election in November. We also have another big race that was on the runoff ballot today, and that is the Republican runoff for the United States Senate. Whoever wins this race, Alabama, a reliably red state, the winner of today's runoff is projected to be the new junior senator from the state of Alabama. We have Jared Hudson, former Navy SEAL, that is squaring off with U.S. Representative Barry Moore. Barry Moore holds President Trump's endorsement in that race today. We have seen that race. Most of our viewers are very familiar, has really, in some sense of the fact, has really went negative, especially over the last couple of weeks. There's been accusations about Congressman Moore's military service. There's been questions about nonprofits that Jared Hudson has been involved in, exactly what his law enforcement career has entailed. So there has been a lot of negativity that has come into that race. So it'll be interesting to see how voters decipher all the information that's at hand. And again, a race that President Trump's endorsement has hung very heavily over. And we will see if that endorsement will carry Barry Moore across the finish line this afternoon. But not only for our United States Senator, but also we have on the ballot another race that has drawn a lot of attention, had a lot of money spent on this race, is the race for Alabama Attorney General. We have Jay Mitchell, who's a former Alabama Supreme Court Justice, is facing Catherine Robertson, who is Chief Counsel of the State Attorney General's office there. That race goes back to the initial primary there. There was a lot of controversy in this race, centering around some of the comments in Mitchell's campaign. Some of them were seen as derogatory or slanted towards certain groups. But I think he was really trying to hit home the conservative base there. Catherine Robertson, there's been ads back and forth about who is funding this campaign. A lot of accusations of dark money playing into this campaign. Again, a race that is going to be strictly in the hands of voters this afternoon in that race. Also on the ballot, Republican runoff for the Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries. Between Corey Hill and Christina McWarner-McInnes. Corey Hill, mayor of Douglas, located in Marshall County up in North Alabama there, facing McInnes, who is a former city commissioner for the city of Orange Beach in South Alabama there. Ads for both of those. There has been some endorsements on both sides from various groups in that race. So it will be interesting to see, and this is one of those races. I believe it's going to be who is able to get their folks motivated and to the polls today. Another race that has drawn some interest is for the runoff for Public Service Commission, Place 2. Chris Beaker, who is the incumbent who holds that place on the Public Service Commission, is facing former State Auditor Jim Ziegler in a race. The Public Service Commission has come under criticism over the last year for their handling of utility rates here in the state of Alabama. They have received some criticism for the rate structure of Alabama Power and not having a formal rate hearing for, I believe it's over 30-something years at this point. So it has really raised the eyebrow of a lot of people. So you have the incumbent there, Jim Ziegler, coming to the campaign with his signature a remark of wanting to be a watchman for the people. His vowing to look into that and to give some insight to people as far as their utility rates, rates that they are paying for energy. So that's going to be an interesting race to watch. If you remember in the initial primary, Jim Ziegler did tote a majority of the votes in the primary there. It was just shy of that 50% mark. So it will be interesting this evening to see if Jim Ziegler is able to hold on to that lead, get his folks back out to the polls, and see the outcome of the race, who will sit in that Place 2 seat on the Public Service Commission. We know that commission has underseen some changes, so it is going to be interesting for the voters to see how the new structure of the Public Service Commission is going to play out there. So that is our statewide races that are on the Republican runoff ballot today. So we'll transition it over. We've got two races on the Republican runoff ballot that actually affect us here in Chilton County. And the first one is the runoff for the Circuit Court judgeship for the 19th Judicial Circuit, Place 5. This is a new judgeship that was created through the state of Alabama and the legislature to try to take some of the burden off of the 19th Judicial Circuit and lighten the caseload there. So we have in that race Carol Cook Carter, a resident of Elmore County, is facing Bradley Earl Ekdahl of Watauga County. You might remember in the primary, Chilton County and Allie Patterson was in that race there. And then Ms. Carter and Mr. Ekdahl, they have advanced to the runoff today. Both have been out actively campaigning hard. They've been making stops, I know, across the circuit. And I remind our listeners, as we did in the primary, that this race here, we're going to give you the totals from Chilton County tonight on that. But just because someone carries Chilton County does not necessarily guarantee a win overall, because in this race, the vote totals from Chilton County will be tabulated along with the vote totals of Elmore County and Autauga County, and that will determine who the overall winner is for the new Place 5 judgeship in the circuit court here for the 19th Judicial Circuit. So that's a race that we'll definitely be keeping our eyes on. And then right here at home, we have the runoff for the Chilton County Revenue Commissioner. You have Brad Carter facing Michelle Porter Headley. Folks, I'm just going to tell you, there's not many times that we have an election where I could just sit back and tell you that either way that goes, I feel like we are going to be in good hands. You've got two good hometown people there, both from good families, good backgrounds, both individuals who I firmly believe have the community's best interest at heart. And both of them have been out. I have spoken with both of them during the course of this campaign, and I'm gonna tell our viewers and our listeners this evening, both of these candidates have poured their whole heart into this campaign. So, again, this is a race that is strictly going to boil down, I believe, to who was able to get people to the polls today. Like I said, because candidates in this situation, they're fighting what is already going to be a low voter turnout. And then on top of today, you have the weather, and we know that discourages a lot of people from getting out, going to the polls today. So this is a race that is firmly, I believe, is going to be in the hands of the people of Chilton County. And as I was speaking with Baden here in the studio earlier, I would not be surprised if that is not a very, very close race this afternoon. And we'll be keeping our eye on those numbers as they come in to see who will become the next revenue commissioner for Chilton County. So it's currently about 13 minutes after the hour of 7 o'clock this evening. We expect results to start initially coming in probably sometime within about the next 10 minutes or so. So as we have went down the ballot there, we also just want to take a moment to, if anybody who is on the ballot today, once these results come in and we start getting results, please reach out to us here at Piper Peach Radio. We would love to talk with you, get your remarks. I know some have already reached out to Baden here, so please, we encourage you to reach in, give you an opportunity to speak to the voters of the county tonight once the results have been tabulated. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take just a break for just a moment and kind of get reset here and get our tabulation spreadsheets pulled up here. And we are expecting results to start coming in from polling places across Chilton County in the next few minutes. So stay with us right here on Piper Peach Radio. We'll be back in just a moment.
Looking for the perfect way to unwind, compete, and have fun with friends or family? Then Putter Up Pelham is your next destination. Whether you're a mini golf pro or just out for a good time, Putter Up offers a one-of-a-kind indoor putting experience with custom effects lighting, sounds, and robotics at each hole, plus automated scoring and a virtual caddy to guide your game. And our ADA-compliant courses include special putters for individuals using wheelchairs or walkers, so everyone can join the fun from ages 4 to 100. Rain or shine, day or night, it's always game time at Putter Up. Come for the fun, stay for the challenge. Swing by Putter Up, where every stroke counts. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you. Whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss, Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Welcome back this evening to the 2026 runoff election coverage 2026 right here with Piper Peach Radio. Again, I'm your host, Ellison, this evening, and we thank you for joining us this afternoon. We're still waiting for results from polling places across Chilton County to begin coming in this evening. We hope that should start happening here within the next few moments. Want to just go over maybe you're a new resident here in Chilton County, or maybe you've been here a while and you've just forgot exactly where all the polling places are, but we do have several around the county. The boxes that we will be watching this afternoon will be, of course, the absentee box, which will be tabulated there at the courthouse. We have the Campbell Building. This is one that a lot of people may not be familiar with. This is the precinct that used to be located at the former courthouse. That has been moved to the Campbell Building, which is an annex of the First Baptist Church here in Clanton. So if you hear us refer to the Campbell Building this evening, just know that was the former precinct from the former courthouse. We also have polling places at the Chilton Emergency Assistance Center here in Clanton, the Clanton Library, the Clanton Rec Center, which is one of the, if not the largest box in Chilton County. We also have polling places at Collins Chapel Baptist Church, East Chilton Fire Department, Enterprise Fire Department, Fairview Fire Department, Gap of the Mountain, or some of us still refer to it, Cane Creek, Hillcrest Baptist Church, Isabella Fire Department, Jemison City Hall, Maplesville Library, Providence Number 1, also known as the North Chilton Box, Thorsby City Hall, Union Grove, Verbena Fire Department, and West Chilton, also known as the Mars Hill Box over there. So all across Chilton County, these, like I said, our poll workers today. I want to think just a moment, stop and just thank our poll workers today, because I'm going to tell you this morning, I went to my polling place, which is at Union Grove this morning, and went in. Very slow trickle of people as we expected, but I want to thank our poll workers today for the job that they put in, because today can be a very cumbersome day, especially with a low turnout, and they have to be there well before the polls open, and then they have work to do after the polls are closed. So it can be easily a 14-hour plus day for them. So I thank you for your service. I thank you for the work that you do for all of our poll workers around Chilton County. Our first results of the evening are in, folks, so let's jump right into it. They have just posted from the absentee box. This is, like I said, people that voted absentee in the Chilton County Courthouse, and this is for our local races here for Chilton County Revenue Commissioner. In the absentee box, Brad Carter received 52 votes, Michelle Headley 76 absentee votes in that box there. As far as from the absentee box for the circuit judge, place 5, Carol Carter received 87 votes to Bradley Ekdahl's 31 votes there. And then as far as on the state races here, again, this is the absentee box. For Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 77, John Wall, 39. For U.S. Senator, Jared Hudson, 55 votes, Barry Moore, 63 votes. For Alabama Attorney General, Jay Mitchell, 38 votes, Catherine Robertson, 75 votes. And for Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Corey Hill, 50 votes, Christina McInnes, 56 votes. And then for Public Service Commission, place 2, Chris Beaker with 50 votes to Jim Ziegler's 65 votes there. So That is the very first box reporting. It normally is, because that box is housed there at the courthouse where these tabulations are made. So not a surprise that that's our first, the box of the evening there that has come in. So I imagine we should start seeing some more start coming in here in just a moment, just as soon as we see those pop. We want to thank the folks over at the courthouse with the probate judge's office there who have allowed Piper Peach to link with this system here as they are inputting these results. We're getting them live here and we're bringing them right to you. It looks like right now that the results from the Jemison City Hall are going in as we speak there, and I want to bring those to you live. From Jemison City Hall for Chilton County Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter, 174 votes to Michelle Headley's 264 votes there. And that's from the Jemison City Hall there. And then for the Circuit Judge, Place 5, Jemison City Hall, Carol Carter with 279 to Bradley Ekdahl's 138 there. And just bear with us because, like I said, folks, this is live. So as these numbers are populating into these boxes, we are getting them right to you this evening. For Lieutenant Governor from Jemison City Hall, Wes Allen with 214. John Wall, 214. A tie in that box for the Lieutenant Governor. The totals for the U.S. Senate are tabulating as we speak. We're getting prepared to bring those to you live here. Like I said, this is the box from the Jemison City Hall there, which is a fairly large box there. And you can tell from the voter turnout that it is, it looks like that, 214 to 214, that's going to be about 428 votes right there. That's not uncommon for that box to see, 700-800 votes there. So they're still working on U.S. Senator, but they have put the Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries up for the Jemison City Hall. Corey Hill, 235. Christina McInnes, 183. And on the Public Service Commission, Place 2, Chris Beaker, 244. Jim Ziegler, 167. So we are still waiting there for the Jemison box for Senator and Attorney General. And it looks like those boxes are calculating. For Attorney General, Jay Mitchell with 173 to Catherine Robertson's 245 from the Jemison City Hall there. So we are waiting on the figures there for the U.S. Senate from Jemison City Hall. Looks like they are in there tabulating that particular office as we speak. Again, now that these boxes are coming in, like I said, they are arriving there. These tabulations are going in at the Chilton County Courthouse there, and as they are getting those feeds and getting them implemented in. So, like I said, you're hearing it first here on Piper Peach Radio this evening. So if you kind of see us pause for just a moment, know that there's a pause there in the inputs being put in there. Our goal is to bring that to you just as soon as those numbers populate in there. Again, we're waiting on the numbers for U.S. Senate from the Jemison City Hall there. Be Jared Hudson and Barry Moore. As we said, a hotly contested race. A lot of money has been spent on that race. President Trump's endorsement, we're going to see how heavily that weighs into that race this evening. It appears, based on the absentee box, that did give Moore an advantage. We're going to see if that continues to hold throughout Chilton County this evening. All right. And we've got some people asking about the courthouse box. The courthouse box is now, or what has traditionally been called the courthouse box, is now the Campbell Building at First Baptist Church Annex. The absentee box is located at the current courthouse. It's where people go in there to the and vote by absentee ballot. That takes place at the courthouse there. But the old courthouse box that was located at the old courthouse is now referred to as the Campbell Building, the First Baptist Church Annex there. So I hope that clears up any confusion that anyone has on those boxes. So we are still waiting on results from the Campbell Building. The only results that we have currently, or we do have from the absentee box, and they are currently working with the numbers from Jemison City Hall. It looks like that they have went ahead and they are processing some other results. This is going to be from the Union Grove box. I'll go ahead and give you what we've got. I'll follow back up as they input the others. But the Union Grove box for Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter, 154. Michelle Headley is at 183, and that's in the Union Grove box. On the Circuit Judge, Place 5, the Union Grove box, Carol Carter, 190. Bradley Ekdahl, 120. In the Union Grove box for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 158. John Wall, 171. U.S. Senator Jared Hudson, 182. Barry Moore, 157. Attorney General Jay Mitchell, 144. Catherine Robertson, 182. For Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Corey Hill, 201. Christina McInnes, 118. And Public Service Commission Place 2, Chris Beaker at 175. And Jim Ziegler at 147. And that is the Union Grove box there. So these initial numbers are coming out of the northern part of the county there. Like I said, from all indications, it seems to be trending like we said in looking at a low turnout today. For the this is Gap of the Mountain, Cane Creek box. Chilton County Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter, 120. Michelle Headley, 102. And then for the Circuit Judge Place 5, from Gap of the Mountain, Carol Carter at 121. Bradley Ekdahl at 93. For Lieutenant Governor, this is out of Gap of the Mountain, Wes Allen, 110. John Wall, 103. For U.S. Senator Jared Hudson, 124. Barry Moore, 96. Attorney General Jay Mitchell, 93. Catherine Robertson, 124. Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries Corey Hill, 124. Christina McInnes, 86. And Public Service Commission Place 2, Beaker at 127, and Ziegler at 82 there. That is the results out of the Cane Creek Gap of the Mountain box there. All right, we also have from the Mars Hill box, West Chilton, for Revenue Commissioner, we've got Brad Carter, 71, Michelle Headley, 90. And then for Circuit Judge Place 5, Carol Carter, 91, Bradley Ekdahl, 55. And then for state offices out of the Mars Hill box, for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 58, John Wall, 94. U.S. Senator Jared Hudson, 76, Barry Moore, 77. For Agriculture and Industries, Jay Mitchell, 70, Catherine Robertson, 81. For Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Corey Hill, 89, Christina McInnes, 59, and Public Service Commission Place 2, Chris Beaker at 76, and Jim Ziegler at 69 votes. And that is the West Chilton Mars Hill box there. So again, that is our current at the moment. While they are still tabulating, just on the revenue commissioner race, currently with 5 boxes reporting. Brad Carter is at 571. Michelle Headley is at 715, and that's with 5 boxes reporting. And on for the circuit judge place 5, the Chilton County results currently have Carol Carter with 768 to Bradley Ekdahl's 437 there. So that's totals with 5 boxes reporting there. So boxes are slowly coming in. It looks like some of these races, as we initially figured, they're going to be very close. Some of the state races, it looks like some of the boxes are split very 51-49. I mean, in a lot of them, it's just very, very close, and we kind of suspected that would happen there. We're still waiting on those U.S. Senate numbers for out of the Jemison City Hall box there. So they still have not posted there. So we are So again, as we wait for more box returns to be input into the system, again, we thank you for joining us this evening here on Piper Peach Radio. We thank you for making us your choice for election night coverage here in Chilton County. We thank you for placing your trust in us. It is our goal to get you these results as quickly as possible, as professionally as possible, and make sure that what we are giving you is accurate information. So we just thank you for being with us this evening and hanging with us as these results come in this afternoon. And I can kind of see and hear that they are looks like as they're checking off what's coming in. So I suspect here within the next few moments, more total. So here we go. This is out of the Isabella box over there for Revenue Commissioner. Brad Carter, 77. Michelle Headley, 76 votes. For the Circuit Judge, place 5 out of Isabella, Carol Carter at 98 votes to Bradley Ekdahl's 48 votes. And in Isabella, they have already tabulated the Public Service Commission, and that was for Chris Beaker, 76 votes to Jim Ziegler, 65 votes there. All right, for Lieutenant Governor, out of the Isabella box, Wes Allen, 76 votes to John Wall, 71 votes. For U.S. Senator, Jared Hudson, 74. Barry Moore, 76 votes. And that Isabella box is still tabulating. And even just so that, if some of the boxes here they have added to the spreadsheet for the Senate race also on the Democratic side. And it looks that out of all the boxes that are reporting here, it looks like we may have 6 Democrat ballots at this point. So even though there's no vote there, they are having to clear that and move through there. So just keep in mind, like I said, if we pause for just a moment, it's because there's a pause in the tabulation there. So, currently they are still working on the Isabella box there. So, but nothing really that I see surprises from what we thought. The Senate race appears to be very, very close. Like I said, we're talking about the Isabella box here. 2 votes separating in this box. 5 votes separating for lieutenant governor. So very, very close numbers that we're seeing this evening, kind of across the board there. As these numbers come in, and it seems that is kind of trending across the board here, is that in these top 2 statewide races are going to be very tight this evening, and I suspect that we will see that hold. If I had to guess, probably statewide, I would say. We expect those to be very close races there. So we're still waiting on the numbers for, okay, out of Isabella for U.S. Senator. Said Jared Hudson 74, Barry Moore 76, 2 votes there. Still waiting on the Agriculture Commissioner and the Attorney General numbers there. So I'm going to go around because some other boxes are coming in. We'll come in and fill those totals in for you. The next box that we have is going to be the Collins Chapel box that's coming in. And for Revenue Commissioner, the Collins Chapel box, Brad Carter 91, Michelle Headley 54. Circuit Judge Place 5, Carol Carter 82 to Bradley Ekdahl's 48. For Lieutenant Governor, out of the Collins Chapel box, Wes Allen 71 to John Wall 70. For U.S. Senator, Jared Hudson 78, Barry Moore 64. Attorney General, Jay Mitchell 55, Catherine Robertson 84. Agricultural Commissioner, Corey Hill 75, Christina McInnes at 60, and Public Service Commission, Chris Beaker 83 to Jim Ziegler's 54. And that is the totals from the Collins Chapel box this evening. So So it looks like as they are inputting these that are coming in, some of these offices there, we're trying to get you the local races here. We know everybody's listening in locally for our local races here, and I think that's probably what they're trying to do is get those numbers out, and then they're following back on some of these state numbers here. So. Like I said, just bear with us this evening. You're going to get the numbers just as soon as we receive them here this afternoon. So, again, thank you for joining us here at Piper Peach and making us your choice for your election night coverage. I want to thank Baden Little for offering this service to our community this evening and making this possible this evening. Like I said, with the current boxes, it looks like in the Revenue Commissioner's race, there is about a 100, and Michelle Headley has about 106 vote lead at this point in time with the current boxes reporting. And on the circuit, for the Circuit Judge Place 5, totals currently Carol Carter 948 to Bradley Ekdahl's 533 there. So currently with the current boxes reporting, Carol Carter carrying just over 64% of the vote currently for Chilton County. As I said, we keep in mind there, Chilton County's totals will go in with totals from Elmore and Autauga County, and then that will give the winner of that judgeship Place 5 for the 19th Judicial Circuit there. You know, keep in mind we talk about the 19th Judicial Circuit there when we're talking about Chilton, Elmore, and Talga counties. You know, there's a bulk of that population lies within the Elmore County area, and then you've got Talga County and then Chilton County. So a lot of votes to be counted from those other two counties there to give us what will be the results of that race. So again, we are waiting as they are actively tabulating there in the courthouse. So as we said, very, very close race is what it appears to be, especially in the statewide races. Just kind of give you for Chilton County, for Lieutenant Governor, a total of the boxes reporting currently: Wes Allen 764, John Wall 762. 2 votes separating those two candidates here in Chilton County. The U.S. Senate race there is only separated right now by about 50-something votes there. So again, very close races when you take everything into consideration this evening. So it's really it's too close to call at this point. With many of our boxes still outstanding. Several large boxes for the county are still outstanding there. So still, it is too close to call this evening. So we just ask that you continue to stay with us this afternoon as these continue to come in. It looks like there's been a kind of a pause in the tabulation there. What we are going to do while they have taken a pause, we're going to take a pause with them here as that tabulation occurs there, and we'll be right back with you just as soon as the tabulations restart here in just a moment here on Piper Peach Radio.
There's a pride that comes from employing over 6,000 people in America, welding, fabricating, assembling with local and global parts, delivering a machine just right for you. Japanese engineering meets American ingenuity that builds on our 50-year legacy of quality, reliability, and durability that makes us the #1 selling compact tractor in the U.S. These aren't just machines. This is a way of life, and that's why Kubota is investing hundreds of millions right here at home. Because we won't settle on what was good enough yesterday. We're innovating with inspiration from the hard-working men and women that proudly sit on our equipment every day. So you can be sure that every one of us have you in mind when a machine or implement comes down that line. We know how hard you work. We'll do the same. This is Kubota.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Chilton Mobile Home Parts and Supply.
Welcome back here to Piper Peach Radio for your runoff election coverage this evening. Again, I'm your host, Aaron Ellison, and we'll jump back into returns as the tabulation has restarted this afternoon. Give you the results from the Campbell Building. As I said, this is the precinct that used to be at the old courthouse. It's now over at the First Baptist Church Annex called the Campbell Building. So for Revenue Commissioner, Brad Carter at 154, Michelle Headley, 119. For Circuit Judge Place 5, the Campbell Building, Carol Carter at 156 to Bradley Ekdahl's 108 there. For our statewide races from the Campbell Building, Lieutenant Governor Wes Allen, 141, John Wall, 124. For U.S. Senator Jared Hudson, 152, to Barry Moore's 106. Attorney General Jay Mitchell, 94, Catherine Robertson, 165, Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries Corey Hill, 141, Christina McInnes, 109, Public Service Commission, Chris Beaker at 148, and Jim Ziegler 101 there, and that is the Campbell Building box there. So go back there. That tabulation has just finished up out of that box there. So we will see what is the next box to drop in here. So I believe right now we have a total. It's going to be 8 boxes reporting there. So with eight precincts reporting, our current totals for Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter is at 893, Michelle Headley at 964 there. And then on Circuit Judge, this is Chilton County totals. Carol Carter at 1104 to Bradley Ekdahl 641. So she is about 63.25% of the vote there currently as it stands. So we are waiting for the next box to come in. As I said, numbers are not overall surprising. A low voter turnout today. Some projected that it could be as low as a 10% or maybe even a little bit less than that turnout today. So that was the overall prediction. Then you add today's weather on top of that, that compounds that. So it will be interesting to once the final figures are tabulated and we get an actual total number of voters and see what percentage turned out to the election today. So that's some information that we will probably find out. I would probably take tomorrow at some point. Once the final totals are in, they'll be able to tell us exactly where that turnout percentage lies there. So we're also we're expecting some statewide results to kind of start coming in on some of the statewide races currently. So as soon as we are able to as soon as we get any statewide results, we will pass that along to you also. All right. Results are in from the East Chilton Fire Department for Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter, 92. Michelle Headley, 62 votes there, and that's East Chilton. And for Circuit Judge Place 5, East Chilton, Carol Carter at 103 to Bradley Ekdahl's 48. And then for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 91, John Wall, 67. For U.S. Senator, Jared Hudson, 85, Barry Moore, 73. For Attorney General, Jay Mitchell, 62, Catherine Robertson's 94. Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Corey Hill, 91. Christina McInnes at 56. And Public Service Commission Place 2, Chris Beaker at 85, and Jim Ziegler at 65 votes. And that is out of the East Chilton precinct there. So again, fairly close numbers across the board this evening. So our numbers, as they start to slowly come in this evening. And we do have some viewers that's sending in some messages, and this is unconfirmed, that there has supposedly at some polling places there has been an issue with some of the boxes today. Again, that is unconfirmed. That is just what we are hearing from some people that have been out and about today, is that they have had some issues. So that could be why we're getting some kind of numbers from boxes and not for certain races. Not saying that's the case. That is unconfirmed, but we are getting those messages that there could have been some issues there today, and that could further some additional counting that would have to take place later into tonight or tomorrow there. So we'll work to confirm those reports to see if those reports are accurate there. So, but we thank you for reaching out to us here at Piper Peach and letting us know what's going on out in the field there. So we appreciate our listeners. We appreciate our viewers. Any information like that, we appreciate it. If you'll just post it under our live feed here, Mr. Baden will see that, and he'll pass that along to me. All right, we've got results from Verbena Fire Department coming in. For Revenue Commissioner, Brad Carter, 152 to Michelle Headley's 92 there. For Circuit Judge, place 5 out of Verbena, Carol Carter, 152 to Bradley Ekdahl's 87 there. And on the state races, out of Verbena, Wes Allen, Lieutenant Governor, 114 to John Wall, 129. For Senator, Jared Hudson, 126. Barry Moore, 122. And then for Attorney General, Jay Mitchell, 98. Catherine Robertson, 139. Commissioner of Agriculture, Corey Hill at 128. Christina McInnes at 107. And Public Service Commission, place 2, Chris Beaker at 147. And Jim Ziegler at 90. And that is the results from the Verbena Fire Department there. So again, just to update on our totals here, and that with 10 boxes reporting, our Revenue Commissioner totals are Brad Carter, 1137, to Michelle Headley's 1118 there. So currently, at the moment, Brad Carter is taking the lead in that race there. And for the Circuit Judge, place 5 for Chilton County, Carol Carter, 1359 to Bradley Ekdahl, 776 there. So, so that Revenue Commissioner race, as we predicted, is going to be very, very close there. So we are actually looking at about looks about 21 votes separating the two right at the moment there. So still several large boxes out. So the Chilton County Revenue Commissioner's race currently too close to call this evening. All right. Looks like our next totals that's going to be coming in is going to be the Thorsby City Hall. For Revenue Commissioner, Brad Carter, 159 to Michelle Headley's 208. For the Circuit Judge, place 5 is Carol Carter, 214 to Bradley Ekdahl's 125. And then from Thorsby Town Hall, Lieutenant Governor Wes Allen, 172. John Wall, 175. For U.S. Senator Jared Hudson, 171. Barry Moore, 181. For Attorney General Jay Mitchell, 133. Catherine Robinson, 207. For Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Corey Hill, 205. Christina McInnes, 136. And Public Service Commission, place 2, Chris Beaker, 180. Jim Ziegler, 158. And that is the totals from the Thorsby City Hall there. So again, as of right now, we've got about 8 boxes that are still outstanding right at the moment. We've still got the box outstanding from the Emergency Assistance Center, the Clanton Library, the Rec Center, Enterprise Fire, Fairview Fire, Maplesville, and Providence number 1 in North Chilton. So still some big boxes out there. This could still go either way, folks. So just bear with us here as these continue to come in this evening because the race for Revenue Commissioner is coming down to the line. And with that, Michelle Headley, she made up some ground there from the Thorsby City Hall, and that has flipped back to her favor. She currently has 1326 to Brad Carter's 1296. So it is that is a close race there. And I would not be surprised if that race does not come down to the last box of the evening, folks, because that is a super close race. Just the total so far for Chilton County on the U.S. Senate race, Jared Hudson at 1123 to Barry Moore's 1015 there. So and it looks like the Maplesville box is tabulating. Totals from the Maplesville Library for Chilton County Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter 48, Michelle Headley 65. For Circuit Judge, place 5. Carol Carter, 81 to Bradley Ekdahl's 81 there. That is from the, Carol Carter, 81 to Bradley Ekdahl's 27 from the Maplesville Library there. On the state races from Maplesville, for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 58, John Wall, 51. For Senator, Jared Hudson, 53 to Barry Moore, 60. For Attorney General, Jay Mitchell, 32. Catherine Robertson, 78. For Agricultural Commissioner Corey Hill, 77. To Christina McInnes is, 30. And then Public Service Commission, place 2. Chris Beaker, 64. Jim Ziegler, 45. And that is the totals from the Maplesville Library there. So we get a little insight is from some of those. That's the first box from over in the kind of the very western part of the county there. So just to give you the updated totals on that, again for Revenue Commissioner, Brad Carter's currently at 1344, Michelle Headley at 1391 there. So, so like I said, as these boxes are coming in. That race is still very tight there. It's going to be interesting to see the box that comes in. Baden, as we're sitting here, and Baden's watching this off screen. Everybody, what's going on here? A box is going to see is going to be the Rec Center. That is one of our largest boxes in the county. So it's going to be interesting to see how the low turnout in that box today kind of give us a good idea of where we stand for the evening. But yeah, just looking at the numbers here, looks like we've got another Western box that is tabulating. It looks like they are tabulating the Hillcrest Baptist Church box as we speak there. So that box is up. We're just waiting on the numbers to come up here on the screen. Brad Carter, 93. Michelle Headley, 73 there in the Hillcrest box. Circuit Judge placed 5 for Hillcrest is Carol Carter 112 to Bradley Ekdahl's 45 votes there. For your state races, for Hillcrest, for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 109, John Wall, 56. For U.S. Senator, Jared Hudson, 63, Barry Moore, 102. For Ag Commissioner, Mitchell, 49, Attorney General Mitchell, 49, Robertson is 113. Agricultural Commissioner is Corey Hill, 124, to McInnes, 86, and Public Service Commission, Beaker, 127, and Ziegler, 82 there. So that is Hillcrest there. And we also have Fairview coming in that is tabulating. Fairview Fire Department for Chilton County Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter, 80, Michelle Headley, 107. For the Circuit Judge, Place 5 out of Fairview, Carol Carter at 94, Bradley Ekdahl, 82. For the statewide races, for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 92, John Wall, 90. For Jared Hudson, 86, Barry Moore, 97. For AG, Attorney General, Jay Mitchell, 73, to Catherine Robertson, 109. For Ag Commissioner, Corey Hill, 122, Christina McInnes, 53, and Public Service Commission, Chris Beaker, 101, and Jim Ziegler, 74 there, and that is out of the Fairview box there. So, looking at that, so we're getting down to, guys, it looks like we still have, we've got about 5 boxes outstanding right at the moment. All right, this is going to be another city box coming in. Looks like they're getting ready to tabulate the Clanton Library box there. So for Revenue Commissioner, Brad Carter, 229, Michelle Headley, 154 there. That's out of the library. For the Circuit Judge, Place 5, Carol Carter, 223, Bradley Ekdahl, 142. State races out of the Clanton Library, Lieutenant Governor Wes Allen, 213, John Wall, 154. U.S. Senate, Jared Hudson, 195, Barry Moore, 174. For Attorney General, Jay Mitchell, 149, Catherine Robertson, 214. Ag Commissioner Corey Hill, 203. Christina McInnes, 146. Public Service Commission, Chris Beaker, 196. To Jim Ziegler, 156 there. And that is the results from the Clanton Library. So with our totals currently for, like I said, this is a tight race. It has gone back and forth, back and forth. Currently, this is the totals. Currently, Brad Carter at 1746, Michelle Headley at 1725 there. So, again, as I said, this race is going to come down to the final box of the night, folks. And I'm going to tell you, it's 2 good people here. This is what you should expect when you have 2 good, qualified people seeking office, is a close race like that. And that's what we see this evening shaping up to take place there. So we are waiting on just a very few more boxes to come in for the night there. It looks like we're still waiting on the Providence #1 out of North Chilton. Enterprise Fire Department is still outstanding. The Rec Center is outstanding, and the Emergency Assistance Center is outstanding at the moment there. So those totals will be filling in momentarily, and we'll be able to give you the final totals there. Trying to look to see if they have got another box at the table that is being tabulated. So it looks like we are kind of at an in-between right at the moment. And as I said, I know all eyes are on this revenue commissioner race. And guys, while we're waiting on these first totals, I want to take a moment and I want to speak direct to Brad Carter and Michelle Headley. Both of y'all are to be commended because that has been a very clean race. Very clean. They both have been focused on what they can do individually there. It's been a clean race, and both of you are to be commended for running both very good, very clean campaigns. And I want to tell you, the voters appreciate when it's a clean campaign and each person is running on their own merits there. And that's exactly what we've seen in this race. And that's why these numbers are so close this evening. So to both of you, no matter who comes out on top of this, both of you are to be commended for running a very, very clean campaign. So we are still waiting on a few this afternoon, and just as soon as those numbers roll in, we'll be prepared to give you those numbers this afternoon. Just looking around, like I said, the U.S. Senate race here for Chilton County is that's close. That is really it appears to be less than 100 votes separating the two Senate candidates. That was kind of expected that Jared Hudson was going to kind of be a little more popular in the northern part of the state, kind of to a degree. Barry Moore was going to be strong in the southern part of the state. And if we look, that very well could hold true by what we see here in Chilton County. We've seen Moore do real well along our southern boxes as they're coming in. We've seen Hudson kind of do a little bit better in the more northern areas of our county. So we may actually see that divide right here along Chilton County there for that coming in. So that's going to be very interesting to note throughout the evening as totals continue to come in. And it looks like they are getting ready to possibly tabulate the Providence #1, the North Chilton box there, possibly. So we're going to hang with them for just a moment and see if those numbers start inputting here. Again, another box that has historically kind of been a larger box here in the county. So it will be interesting because, like I said, as tight as this race is, one box can flip the revenue commissioner's race one way or the other. So as we're waiting this evening, we're also checking just to see other kind of what's going on around the state, to see if we have any updates. I think overall the evening is still fairly young from a statewide standpoint there. So this is a report off the wire. It says 11 counties statewide reporting, and voter turnout is currently average. It appears to be averaging 0.13%. 0.13%. All right, we've got the numbers from the Clanton Emergency Assistance Center coming in. For Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter, 91. Michelle Headley, 88 votes there. For Circuit Judge, Place 5, Carol Carter, 100. Bradley Ekdahl, 62. For the Emergency Assistance Center for statewide races, for Wes Allen, 89. John Wall, 80. Jared Hudson, U.S. Senate, 90. Barry Moore, U.S. Senate, 76. For Attorney General, Jay Mitchell, 69. Catherine Robertson, 95. Ag Commissioner Corey Hill, 91. Christina McInnes, 62. Public Service Commission, Place 2, Chris Beaker, 89. Jim Ziegler, 68. Now, that's the totals from the Chilton County Emergency Center. So, again, it is pulling down to the wire. So it looks now that we've got the rec center Enterprise, and Providence number one. Providence number one in totals coming on line now. Chilton County Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter, 90. Michelle Headley, 90. A tie in that box right there, folks. For Circuit Judge Place 5, Providence box, Carol Carter, 111. Bradley Ekdahl, 64. For the statewide races for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 95. John Wall, 95. For U.S. Senator, Jared Hudson, 95. Barry Moore, 95. Attorney General Jay Mitchell, 79. Catherine Robertson, 109. For Commissioner of Agriculture, Corey Hill, 105. Christina McInnes, 81. Public Service Commission, Chris Beaker, 109. And Jim Ziegler, 77. And that's out of the Providence and North Chilton box. A tie in several races in that box, folks. So, as I said, a testament to so it looks now we're waiting on the Rec Center and Enterprise Fire Department to come in. So the totals as we have them right now, folks, on the Revenue Commissioner's race here in Chilton County, currently is Brad Carter, 1927. Michelle Headley, 1903 there. So Brad Carter currently in the lead there by about 20, a little less than 20 votes right there. We do have some results, just looks like coming out of Watauga County on that judgeship place 5. There, which is going to be Ekdahl's home county there. It looks still overall, when you take into the general picture, still appears to be a very, very close race there. So we will keep that. We'll keep those figures in mind there. So again, waiting on the Rec Center and Enterprise. To come in. Like I said, the Clanton Rec Center, that's normally a big box. So even with the low turnout today, that box, like I said, these two boxes remaining could still very well decide this Revenue Commissioner's race. So again, as we wait the final boxes to come in this evening, again, thank you for taking your time out of your evening to join us here on Piper Peach Radio. Thank you for making us your election night coverage headquarters for Chilton County election returns. It is a privilege to be with you and to be able to pass these results along to you this afternoon. And again, we just thank you. We thank you for those who have sent messages, who sent information. We appreciate that. Mr. Baden Little is over there. He's keeping up with what you're sending us there. And here in a moment, we're going to focus on getting these last couple of boxes in. And then we'll look at some of these results that's coming in from some of our surrounding counties and try to get maybe an overall picture of where some of these races are heading this evening. So, like I said, just bear with us as these last two boxes come in. We're going to look so far, this is just some statewide percentages that are coming in off online reporting through AL.com and the Associated Press currently for the Senate race statewide. Moore at 55.83% to Hudson's 44.17%. Statewide, Lieutenant Governor shows Wes Allen with 52.03% to Walls 47.97% there. So, like I said, we're going to be seeing if some of the statewide totals there. And as these last couple boxes come in this afternoon, we hope, it's our hope that whoever winds up on top in these races, we hope to be able to reach out to them and have them speak to our listeners this evening. So just to kind of preface what we plan to do here is once these last couple of boxes come in and we're able to declare a winner, we're going to probably take a brief break. Regroup, get you some statewide totals, and reach out to our candidates to see if we can get them to join us either live in studio or via phone this evening, and speak to you, the voters, this evening. So I know for the Revenue Commissioner's race, I know that is a tense situation, folks, to be in when the vote is that close. You're down to 2 boxes are outstanding. It is I know that is very tense. And like I said, Chilton County is going to be okay either way because these are 2 great individuals. And whoever comes out on top will no doubt serve Chilton County well. The other one will have nothing to hang their head about because this is what a clean campaign between 2 good people look like. We're seeing that play out before us. Rec Center numbers coming live now. Chilton County Revenue Commissioner Brad Carter 336 to Michelle Headley's 284 there. Circuit Judge, place 5. Carol Carter, 375 to Bradley Ekdahl's 222. For the statewide race for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 345 to John Walls, 256. For U.S. Senator Jared Hudson, 332 to Barry Moore's 271. For Attorney General Jay Mitchell, 226. Catherine Robertson, 360. For Commissioner of Agriculture, Corey Hill, 343. Christina McInnes, 235. Public Service Commission, place 2. Chris Beaker, 361. And Public Service Commission, place 2. Jim Ziegler, 220. So we're going to go back over that. Leaves one box to report, and that is Enterprise. Right now, Chilton County Revenue Commissioner, the totals, this is with all but 1 box reporting. Brad Carter at 2263 and Michelle Porter Headley at 2187 there. Again, that is a close margin there. So it's going to be the Enterprise box. If I'd had to say at this time, based on the polling locations and the number of voters and the voter turnout that we're seeing, unless Headley has just a big surge in this 1 box, it kind of is leaning in Brad Carter's favor this evening. Is what that. Here it looks like they've got that box up. Here we go. Brad Carter, 117 to Michelle Headley's 101. And that will solidify Brad Carter as your next Chilton County Revenue Commissioner, 2380 to 2288 there. So congratulations, Brad Carter. Circuit Judge, let's see here. As all this continues to come in here. Carol Carter, 131 to Bradley Ekdahl, 74 there. And then, let's see, on our statewide races for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen, 93, John Wall, 115, Jared Hudson for U.S. Senate, 114, Barry Moore for U.S. Senate, 97, And then for Attorney General, Jay Mitchell, 90. Catherine Robertson, 119. And then for Commissioner of Agriculture, Corey Hill, 118. Christina McInnes, 88. And Public Service Commission, Place 2, Chris Beaker, 107. Jim Ziegler, 98. So, guys, we go back to the main story of the evening for the Chilton County Revenue Commissioner. Again, this is with all boxes reporting. Brad Carter has won that office with a total of 2,380 votes. Michelle Porter Headley at 2,288 votes there. So congratulations to Brad Carter. Michelle, excellent campaign. Nothing to be ashamed of there, as I've said, and I'll say it again. Two good people there. Chilton County is in good hands, and folks, as I said, this is what you get when you have two good people who both run excellent campaigns there. For Circuit Judge Place 5, the totals in Chilton County for Carol Carter, 2,800 votes to Bradley Ekdahl's 1,619. Carrying a little over 63% of the vote is Carol Carter, and that's the Chilton County numbers. I'm going to go over our state races total, and we're going to take a brief break, and then we'll be back in just a moment. But our totals with all boxes from Chilton County reporting for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen at 2376, John Wall at 2154. So Wes Allen carrying Chilton County. For U.S. Senator Jared Hudson, 2385 to Barry Moore's 2184. So Jared Hudson will carry Chilton County. For Attorney General of the state of Alabama, Jay Mitchell, 1789. Catherine Robertson, 2678. Catherine Robertson carrying Chilton County. For Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Corey Hill, 2589 to Christina McInnes, 1768. Corey Hill will take Chilton County. Public Service Commission, Place 2, Chris Beaker at 2528 to Jim Ziegler's 1850. So Chris Beaker taking Chilton County. That is our statewide totals at the moment. Again, we've got some other totals coming in from around the state this evening. We have reached out to our candidates here, so hopefully in just a moment we will be back, and hopefully we'll have them be able to either join us in studio or via telephone to speak to the voters of Chilton County. So we're going to gather these other numbers from around the state. Don't leave us this evening. I know we've announced the results, but please don't leave us. Stay with us as we take this quick break, and we'll be back in just a moment with more results from around the state of Alabama this evening on Runoff Election 2026.
Just 3 miles east of Thorsby. We offer a diverse inventory, including underpinning, doors, windows, faucets, tubs, setup supplies, and more. Our commitment to quality ensures you'll find the best solutions for your mobile home needs. Upgrade your space with stylish doors and windows. Enhance functionality with top-notch faucets and tubs. All conveniently available in one place. Visit us today or call 205-646-1949. Transform your mobile home with Chilton, where quality meets convenience. Need reliable towing or diesel repair? Mem's Wrecker and Heavy Duty Diesel Repair has you covered. We specialize in light and heavy duty towing and recovery with the latest equipment for any job, from campers and tractor trailers to winch box recoveries, and the only local-based rotator in the county. We do it all. Our diesel repair services include computer diagnostics, engine rebuilds, transmission and clutch work, and general maintenance. Trust Mem's Wrecker and Heavy Duty Diesel Repair for top-notch service. Call us at 205-217-1984. Some family traditions begin with an ending. Lasting family legacies are established at Martin Funeral Home, where for over 100 years we have served the families in our community. Bobby, Donnie, Norma, and our family at Martin Funeral Home would like to express our sincere gratitude for allowing us to serve your family. Every life story deserves the perfect setting. We are here to make that happen for you and your loved one. We offer traditional funeral home services, and we are now excited to be the home of the first crematory in Clanton, Alabama. Our goal is to serve our families no matter what their needs are. Martin Funeral Home, serving Chilton County since 1921. Please give us a call at 205-755-3550.
The plans you have for your property need the right equipment. Kubota has reliable tractors, utility vehicles, and mowers to help you make the most of your land, along with strong dealer support. Stop by today to explore our lineup. Right now, bring home select Kubota BX Series with 0% financing available or save up to $1,500. Now through February 28th, see us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Get by Clanton Tractor today or visit ClantonTractor.com.
Need care fast? Come see us at Chilton Urgent Care, 1210 7th Street South in Clanton. We offer efficient care with minimal wait times and a wide array of services, including on-site x-rays, wound care, and quick assistance with urgent needs. Medicare and most private insurance and private pay welcome. No appointment needed. Walk in Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday from 8 to 4. Call 205-280-0620. Chilton Urgent Care. Quality care when you need it. Traditions come and go, but excellent service and compassionate care are benchmarks in any era. That's what Ellison Memorial Funeral Home is committed to providing you, whether through the pre-arrangement process or seeking services at your time of loss. Ellison Memorial offers a noticeable level of care and attention to detail. Others do not. So before making a decision based on yesterday's traditions, experience the Ellison difference when it comes to your loved one's final arrangements. You'll be glad you did. Call us today at 205-280-4600. Ellison Memorial Funeral Home, setting the new standard in local funeral service excellence. We are always here when you need us.
Underage drinking is deemed by many adults to be a rite of passage. Parents who host parties for youth may think they are being protective, but they are actually putting their youth at risk of physical and social consequences. Know the truth. Underage drinking and social hosting is a bad mix. For more information, contact Central Alabama Wellness, 205-651-0077, or visit centralalabamawellness.org.
Chilton Mobile Home Parts and Supply is your go-to destination for top quality mobile home parts and supplies in Clanton, Alabama. Conveniently located at 14023 County Road 29, just 3 miles east of Thorsby. We offer a diverse inventory, including underpinning, doors, windows, faucets, tubs, setup supplies, and more. Our commitment to quality ensures you'll find the best solutions for your mobile home needs. Upgrade your space with stylish doors and windows. Enhance functionality with top-notch faucets and tubs. All conveniently available in one place. Visit us today or call 205-646-1949. Transform your mobile home with Chilton, where quality meets convenience.
Welcome back this afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Piper Peach this afternoon for your 2026 runoff election coverage this afternoon. Here via phone in the studio, we do have one of our candidates here that did carry Chilton County, and this is for the circuit judge Judge Place 5. This is the new judgeship that has been created for the 19th Judicial Circuit here. And we have with us Miss Carol Carter here, who carried all of our boxes here in Chilton County, carrying a little over 63% of the vote here in Chilton County. Miss Carol, thank you for joining us this evening.
Aaron, thank you for having me, and I want to thank Chilton County. Gosh, it's humbling, it's flattering, and I certainly hope I can live up, and I will certainly try my very best to live up to the expectation that Chilton County has placed on me by allowing me to win every single box. And I'm so thankful. First of all, that the voters showed up and that they chose me to be able to serve them. And I certainly hope right now in the other two counties combined, I'm leading by a little less than 1,000 votes. Most of Watauga County is in. We are still waiting on quite a bit of Elmore County. But again, no matter what the final totals are, thank you, Chilton County.
Absolutely, Ms. Carol. We know Elmore County is your home county there, so we feel confident in that. So we'll continue to watch those numbers come in this evening. But I do want to point out that, and this is just from following you, I can say that I know that there's been some periods of time in your campaign where necessarily not to your own, but it kind of wanted to tilt negative a little bit. But you always, in all of your posts, you always remain very upbeat, very positive, and very thankful. And I think that has resonated with the voters this afternoon.
Well, Aaron, I really tried to do that. It was hard at times. It's hard when you're trying to keep things positive. I've always taught my children, you don't ever make yourself look good by trying to make someone else look bad. And so when it turned in that direction, it was difficult. It was difficult for my parents to have to see things being said about me that were not true. But ultimately, God's got a plan. He's got a purpose. And I knew that. I knew he either had a perfect plan for me to serve as circuit judge, or he had a perfect plan for me to do something else. And either way, his ways are higher than our ways, and it was going to be the right thing. So,
absolutely. Well, Miss Carol, we appreciate you coming on this afternoon and speaking to the voters here. And we know that you're still watching numbers come in from, like you said, from the rest of Watauga and Elmore County there. And like you said, we know God's got a plan there, and we thank you for your willingness to serve in this new judgeship. And if those numbers continue to come in like we anticipate them to come on in this afternoon, we look forward to you serving us.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for the support and the encouragement that Piper Peach has been. And we certainly appreciate the friendships that have been made there, and just look forward to a partnership going forward.
Absolutely. We look forward to continuing to foster that relationship. But Miss Carol, we know you've got family there, and we're going to let you get back to them so y'all can continue watching your numbers, and we look forward to speaking to you again in the very near future.
Sure. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
So there you heard, viewers, from Miss Carol Carter there, who has won Chilton County for the 19th Judicial Circuit. Judge Place 5. She's currently ahead in Watauga County. The votes are starting to come in from Elmore County, and from the early returns, it appears that are coming out of Elmore County, which is her home county. They look favorable to her there. So a very good evening for the Carter campaign there, and we know that she will do well in that position. We have reached out to the Brad Carter campaign for revenue commissioner. We are still waiting to hear back from them. We want to try to get him on to speak to our viewers and our listeners this evening. We know that they are celebrating that win this afternoon. Again, just to review that for the Chilton County Revenue Commissioner, Brad Carter carrying 2,380 votes. Michelle Porter Headley, 2,288 votes there. So as we go and we kind of look, we're Chilton County there. It's going to kind of be interesting to see. We're still trying to wait on some updated state results to come through. The statewide has not updated in just a few moments, so we hope to get those in. The latest, which was about 10 minutes ago, for the this was at 8:26, so about 10 minutes ago, for GOP for the Senate race showed Moore with 60.5%, Hudson 39.5%. Again, this is statewide. Lieutenant Governor Wall had 56.99 to Allen's 43.01. And then for the Attorney General, statewide, as of about 10 minutes ago, Robertson with 57.43%, to Mitchell's 42.57%. Public Service Commission place, Ziegler currently 57.16%, Beaker's 42.84%, and for Agriculture Commissioner Hill at 53.8% to McInnes's 46.2%. Those are statewide figures as of about 10 minutes ago. So right now, we are privileged to have via telephone with us here in the Piper Peach studio the Chilton County Revenue Commissioner-elect Brad Carter. Brad, thank you for joining us this evening.
Yes, sir. Hey, Aaron, how are you, man?
We are good. Tell us how you're feeling this evening. I know it's been a long couple of weeks leading up to this day, so how are you feeling this evening?
I'm just honored. I've enjoyed every minute of this. It's been good to meet people and get out and talk to people in the county and understand, what people want and what they're looking for in the position. So I have really enjoyed getting out and meeting people and talking and just seeing the county, Aaron. You know how beautiful it is. You've been around the world in Chilton many times, so you know exactly what I'm talking about.
It is. I spoke with a gentleman today who I knew very well, that said that you had knocked on his door, and he said you was the first candidate that had asked for his vote in about 10 years.
Well, that makes me feel special.
So
I believe the people tell us what to do, and if we're not talking to them, then we need to be.
Absolutely. I know you have thanked the voters, Brad, and I guess, and I know you have cast a vision for kind of what this office will be. But now that this race is over, it's behind you. Again, your opponent, and I said this earlier on air, both of y'all are being congratulated for running a very clean campaign. So as far as maybe for the people that had maybe been following another candidate that maybe have not followed you as closely, what kind of just give me just a brief synopsis of kind of, I know me and you had this conversation, kind of what your vision is going into this office here, because
I've said it before and I'll keep saying it. I'm very blessed, and I think all of us are, the foundation that's been laid at Chilton County, and I just want to put a fresh set of eyes and see how and if I can improve things and work for efficiency and work for fair and equitable appraisals and just treat everybody that walks in that door the same. That's important to me, and it was important to me as an adult, as a kid, and growing up. This has nothing to do with a specific office, but that's the way I think people should be treated.
Absolutely, and hey, the Revenue Commissioner's office, I had the privilege of touring it a few weeks ago, and had the privilege last week of visiting to actually do a little business there in the new courthouse. And man, what a facility y'all have to be able to work in. And
I'm excited about that
and serve.
I am pulling up to the courthouse now, so So we've been sitting in the parking lot, and we're gonna walk in and talk to everybody. But I appreciate Piper Peach for reaching out to me and talking to y'all, and I just want to say thank you.
Absolutely, Brad. Well, we know you're there with your family, and it's a special time, and we know you got other folks there, and so just want from myself, from us at Piper Peach, congratulations. And I know they look forward to having you on probably in the next few days on the morning show to have a little more in-depth conversation.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm going to take a nap, so I will get back to you.
I understand that. Well, Brad, you have a good evening, and congratulations, my friend.
Thank you so much, Aaron. Thank you, Piper Peach.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right.
That is Brad Carter, the Chilton County Revenue Commissioner-elect. He faces no opposition in the fall general election there, so he will be serving Chilton County as Revenue Commissioner. So, again, before we sign off this afternoon, if you're joining us late, I'm just going to recap our totals before we sign off for the evening here. Again, Brad Carter winning the Chilton County Revenue Commissioner with 2,380 votes. Michelle Porter Headley garnering 2,288 votes. The district judge placed 5. Carol Carter carried Chilton County with 2,800 votes to Bradley Ekdahl's 1,619 votes. For statewide races, for Lieutenant Governor, Wes Allen with 2,376 to John Walsh 2,154. For United States Senator, Republican runoff, Jared Hudson, 2,385, Barry Moore, 2,184. For the U.S. Senator on the Democratic runoff, Lariat with 71 votes to Wes's 181. So Wes carrying Chilton County in the U.S. Senator Democrat runoff. In the Republican runoff for State Attorney General, Jay Mitchell with 1,789. Catherine Robertson taking Chilton County with 2,678 votes. For Commissioner of Agriculture and Industries, Corey Hill carried Chilton County with 2,589 votes to Christina McInnes's 1,758 votes. And then lastly, the Public Service Commission placed 2, Chris Beaker carrying Chilton County with 2,528 votes to Jim Ziegler's 1,850 votes. It has been my privilege to be with you this afternoon and bring you these runoff election results from right here in Chilton County. Again, we thank you for making Piper Peach your choice for election night coverage in Chilton County. We look forward to being back with you at the next election. Keep in mind, there will be a special election for the Congressional District 6, which includes Chilton County. And I believe that is scheduled for August the 11th. That come about from the Supreme Court ruling there. So just keep in mind that Piper Peach will be your source for election night coverage, not only for the special congressional election, but also the general election in this upcoming November. So our time is up this afternoon. We thank you for yours, and we hope you and your family have a blessed evening. And thank you for joining Piper Peach